either one.
Okay.
So I'm here with Minli, and what do you do here at the Khan Academy?
I'm the lead of strategic initiatives at Khan Academy.
And what are some of these initiatives that are strategic?
The initiatives that are strategic include, number one, our summer camp. So we're running a summer camp this year that is going to be in Palo Alto, and it's called the Discovery Lab. That's one of the strategic initiatives.
But, and why are we doing this?
Well, I think the big reason why is that we're known for online education.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we are known to do the work in the classroom so that teachers can free up time to do projects.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the constant feedback that we get from teachers is that they don't know what projects to do in the classroom now that the time is freed up. And so one of the intents of the summer camp is to identify what are the projects that are fun, that are also educational and interesting, and not forced education, like truly educational.
Not paint by numbers, really
not paint by
open-ended.
numbers, and actually, you know, people find that, they actually learn something from it.
Right.
And so identify what those projects are and then scale that out online.
So it's kind of a discovery lab for all involved. The kids will
Yes.
discover.
And then we will discover.
And then we'll discover what works, what's not, what might be appropriate for different ages, and,
Yeah.
and things like that. And what kind of stuff are y'all looking at to do? Are we looking at to do?
So we are doing a variety of things. So one big thing is that we're going to do a lot of robotics activities with the Lego Mindstorms kits. So learning about the mechanical structures of robots, learning about the sensors, how do you use sensors, and then probably doing some big competition like you did a couple years
Like the
ago.
Lego sumo wrestling.
Lego
That's very
sumo
good.
wrestling
We
was-
gave the kids. It was amazing what they did. I mean, they did a lot more than I would have expected.
And it's the Olympics this year, which is
Oh, okay.
even better.
Okay.
So we can make it very thematic. So robotics is a big piece. The second big piece is all the math and music stuff that Vi does.
Yeah.
So Vi and I had gone to a classroom a couple months ago, and we did a lot of, creating platonic solids, creating geometric shapes with students, and giving them the intuition behind the
Right,
math.
the tangible, and that's true, especially three-dimensional
Yeah.
mathematics and three-dimensional geometry. It's kind of hard to really get a tangible sense with that without it being tangible.
Yeah, and exactly, right. But if we talk about things like, if we talk about a triangle being a strongest shape, why is a triangle a strongest shape, right? Let's put one together, let's put a square together, let's
Right.
try and twist and turn it, and then you realize, oh, this is
Right,
why
so that they
triangles are
believe it, and
stronger.
also they kind of get an intuition for it. And some of the other stuff like, random games and simulations.
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to do lots of games and simulations, probably secondary trading markets like you did, and then
Yes.
some sort of economics trading games that I'm trying to make up right now. So it'll be fun.
Yeah,
It'll be a
no,
good time.
that's exciting.
I would want to go to this camp.
yeah, and we'll figure out what and so I interrupted you.
Yeah.
That the camp is one thing.
Camp
you're
is
heading
one
up.
thing. The second thing is, in general, our international strategy. So how do we work with international partners or international schools who want to use Khan Academy?
And so there are people outside of. And so what's going on? I mean, you just went on a recent trip.
Yes, I went on a recent trip. So there are many things going on. I think generally when people hear about Khan Academy, they're excited, which is great for us, right?
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of pull of wanting to use Khan Academy in schools outside. And sometimes it's just a matter of just getting people up to speed, or just saying, oh, here's how you can use it. It's really easy, and then just getting them started. That's one thing. But then there are other bigger implementations that people are doing. So, for example, just last week, I was in the state of Sonora in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
They are giving out one laptop per child, the OLPCs, to each student, and then they're also providing internet
Each
access.
student in the state
Each
of
student in
Sonora.
the
It's like
state.
300,000 students or something. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So they're providing each student with a computer. They're starting with 10,000 first.
Yeah, okay.
And I saw it just last week, but each computer is labeled with the child's name and the serial number, so they can track all
I
the
see.
computers.
So theft and things, right.
And they're also providing internet access as a constitutional right. And on top of that, in their portal, they have put our Khan Academy's content both in Spanish and in English, so that the students can access the content. So
Yeah,
that's
these
an
are students.
example.
I mean, these aren't just like urban students that are middle class. You saw kids.
Yeah,
in kind
so
of
so yeah,
villages and-
we started off with a really indigenous location,
Yeah.
which was called Bakum, and these are students who it's the first time they've started using computers, so they're going to have to sort of learn computer literacy, and then we showed them some of the Khan Academy content, and they were intrigued by it.
Yeah.
I think it's just sort of it's a big change process from there. But that's one. Other organizations, South Africa, there's a Canva Youth organization. They're doing the translations into the native language, and they're doing something in this and after school program that's really interesting. So
Wow.
doing offline implementations. There are a lot of exciting things going on the international front, mostly volunteer driven.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how did you end up here? I mean, how did you?
So I was excited by the mission the first time I heard about Khan Academy, and my background is I spent a couple years in social welfare in the Singapore government, really focused in on low income families.
That's where you grew up, Singapore.
Singapore's where I grew up, and I was there for the first 20 years of my life.
Yeah. And so you worked in the government. You also taught in Singapore.
And I did. I taught high school math, and I had about 200 something, almost 300 students.
300 students that you were teaching at.
No, separate.
So
in separate classes
So
during the same amount of time.
Okay, so you taught high school math in Singapore, and you also worked for the government.
The government was on low-income family policy, focused on education and childcare.
Wow.
So there's always, I always felt like I needed to give back in some way. After that, I went to McKinsey & Company, and I did some management consulting work.
You were a hotshot consultant.
I attempted to be, but after 5+ years of that, I decided to revert back, and this was a good place to sort of merge the two experiences.
And what's it been like so far? I mean, has it been what you expected? Has it been different, better, worse?
I keep telling everyone I know, which can be annoying sometimes, but I tell them it's the best job I've ever had. I love this job.
And you say that even when I'm not in the room.
I say yes. I say that constantly. I say it on my Facebook page. I think my friends might start getting annoyed about that, but I truly believe.
And I mean, but why is that? I mean, other than our very good vacation policy,
which I really need to make use of.
Yeah.
No, I think it's the fact that it's a good team of people who are truly passionate about making a change, and I think the change that we're trying to make is of such scale, right? We have 25 people right now, and we're hitting 4.5 million unique users a month. I mean, that's huge scale, and I get excited about the fact that the things I do will impact this group of students, or actually not just students, right? People around the world who just want to learn something different.
And what's your sense of, I mean, like the summer camp, this is going to affect, on the order of 100 students this summer. How does that affect the scale of?
Well, I think if we are very clear in our minds that yes, it is targeted towards this sub-100 group of students right now, but the intention is that these learnings that we find from the summer camp will be scaled out on the website and therefore available to the millions of students.
Yeah, and teachers and parents.
That's how we're scaling the findings from the summer camp.
And what's your sense? I mean, where do you want to see all of this going? I mean, especially you were a teacher in Singapore. A lot of people hold up Singapore as kind of and it does seem like they have a very good education system. I mean, what do you think it was working there? What would you like to see more of? What do you think?
I think in general, right, just as a teacher, whether you're in Singapore in a good education system, and I was teaching in a fairly good school, but even then you had level of disparity even within the classrooms and across the classrooms. I always felt that when I went into the classroom, it was like, you just give a big just sort of sigh and then you go, all right, everybody, follow me. And then you're like, just come on, everyone, let's learn math together, right? And it was hard, even in a really good school with very good students, because you knew that you were addressing the needs for that student. You knew that student was getting lost. You knew that student was bored. But you're trying your best to do all of that and just perform in front of the class and keep everyone entertained in the 50 minutes that you got, right? I think regardless of where the teacher is, they all, many teachers have this issue that they have to deal with. And I think Khan Academy helps you do that quite a bit, right? Because you eliminate the fact that you need to have to entertain the entire class in one way and one way only. Like everyone gets to go at their own pace, and then you can track where everyone is so you can intermediate. Because otherwise it's hard to understand where it is that you really should focus in your time.
Yeah, very cool.